Bring me to your leader. I must speak with your leader. I want to speak with your leader right now. It is very important. I must speak to your leader. Bring me to your leader now. Bring me. Bring me. Bring me. Bring me. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So today, we're taking a look at not one, but two ancient alien theorist groups. Two groups that the FBI clearly lists on their database as cults. They are alien reptile cults. And this case starts off with a little bit of everything. We have, in this case, we've got little green men. We've got men in black. We have lizard people. We've got reptilian people who are here to save us. We have reptilian people here that are to do us harm. We have a little bit of everything in this case, and it's bizarre, to say the least. I wish I was making all this up. You can check out the story that has been reported in the news, and I'll put a list of credits of different papers that you can actually read check out references to in the description. But you can also check out go to the state of Pennsylvania's district court, and you can request a copy of the transcript. There is a lot more that was never said in the actual court case itself, that it was not allowed because of errors, and that the main person in this case, Barbra Rogers, had made a bunch of statements at the scene, during transport, at the county jail. They were all deemed inadmissible because she had asked for legal counsel, but she didn't shut up. She just kept on talking. And she spoke a lot about the reptile people who walk amongst us, who are here to eliminate and control the human race. And before we go much farther, before we get into this, let me tell you about what the majority of these people actually believe in. And by no means am I saying that this is what all of them believe in. This is what a majority of them believe in. They believe that when it comes to anyone of higher importance within the government, world leaders, they are all reptilian. They're lizard people who can wear a skin mask and look just like us, but they can take it off, and they do take the entire suit off. It's not just a facial mask, but they can take the entire thing off, and they can actually they communicate like giant upstanding lizards. And they believe that this group in particular believes that there are reptilians people who are here to harm us. But they also believe that there is a certain sect of reptilians who come from another planet, another galaxy entirely, who are here to protect us from the other bad reptilians. And they walk amongst us. They live here. They breed here. They believe that the reason why these people have children and they've never gone to a hospital is because they give birth to it. They don't give birth. They have an egg. An egg is basically deposited, and they all gather to care for the egg. And then the egg hatches, and it's a reptilian person. And then they select a body suit for them. Now, again, I'm not making this up. I read their entire website, and that is the gist of what I can get from their website. All right. So, Barbra Rogers, age 44, made a 911 call July 15th, 2017. And that 911 call, the transcript is available online, and you can read it for yourself. But this is the most important part of that 911 call. And then this is an exact quote. She said, "My boyfriend had a gun. He told me to hold it, and hold it here." means inside head, but she didn't actually say the words. And she said, then he told me to press the trigger. Oh my God, he's dead. End quote. So Barbara Rogers made that 911 call. And again, like I said, she was 44 years old at the time, and she killed her 32-year-old live-in boyfriend, Stephen Mineo. And Stephen was someone. He was the one that, when you take Barbara and Stephen, Stephen was definitely in this religious, biblical end of the world reptilian belief. He was in it much longer than she ever was. But when it came to the two of them that was more emphatic about it, and the one that believed in it the most, there's no doubt in anyone's mind that she believed in it more, and that she was the driving force for them staying in this group and then becoming even larger within the group that they were in, and then breaking off and starting their own group. So that's why I said there are two. They started off in one group, and then they formed their own group, making it the second. According to the FBI, they have them listed as a religious cult in the state of Pennsylvania. They were operating within the state of Pennsylvania, and this group is still operating today. Right now, today, they are operating. They operate on YouTube, podcasting, Facebook, and other social media networks. They are out there actively seeking new membership, but that's the catch. They say they don't have members. They don't even have a list of members. They don't have any rules. But we'll get into that. So she shot Stephen one time, point blank, with a .45 caliber handgun. And during her actual trial, she said that she didn't even believe that the gun was loaded. And from all accounts, she says that the gun was Stephen's, but there were people, and there was at least one witness, but that testimony was never used in court, that was able to prove that she had the gun, and that everybody knew she had the gun, and she needed it because she needed protection from reptilian people who were getting closer and closer to the group and trying to control them. Her words. When police arrived at the tan double-wide trailer in Coolbrush Township, Pennsylvania, they placed Rogers under arrest for the murder of Stephen. But the police quickly learned that night that there was more to this than just a domestic killing, a domestic homicide. Her statements became more and more bizarre while they were there, and as they transported her, and then as she went to the actual police department, and county lockup for processing. Then again, she requested an attorney, and then she made numerous statements after that, which were inadmissible in court, so they could not use them in the trial itself, so you will not find them in the trial transcript. But they were, the DA did talk about them and speak about them after the verdict, and the notes are in the actual paperwork for the court, but they're not part of the actual court transcript. So she was charged with homicide for her boyfriend. And the backstory on this group quickly started to unravel. So going back to the first group that Barbara and Stephen both belonged to. They both were extreme followers of a YouTube creator, and their YouTube creator podcast. She has a YouTube channel, she has a podcast, she has a Facebook group, and like I said, other social media out there. But they were followers of Sherry Shriner, Shriner, Shriner. Who preached a doomsday biblical prophecy, and also that she was a servant, a prophet, and an ambassador, daughter, and messenger of the highest God. And when she uses the word God in this context, it is not a Judeo-Christian, God. It is has nothing to do with any form of organized religion. And yes, I understand from when I was talking to people online about this, if you're an atheist, all religions are basically a cult. You can label them all as a cult somehow if you're a non-believer, I guess. So one of the references for this story was the Pocono Record, which is the newspaper. The killing they said in their investigation that the killing started over a dispute that the two of them were having of who was going to take their break off religion to the next level. Who was going to be the leader of the group, which the FBI again calls a cult. Along with that, they were arguing about who was going to be what they called the collector. Now, I could not find any reference to what a collector is. That means somebody who collects the funds. Are they collecting human souls? I don't know. It only referenced that one of them was going to be the religious, spiritual advisor for the group, and the other one was going to be the collector. So the apocalyptic biblical reptilian prophecies that they kept on preaching within their actual group strongly believed, again, that there was a good reptile, a bad reptile that was here to rule the world and to keep humans down, and the reptiles were here to they're mining Earth for its resources and sending it back to another planet and another galaxy. And they had some kind of, according to their website, they have some kind of technology that we have never heard of before. And these people actually supposedly know what it is. And now I'm not making fun of you. If you actually really truly believe in this, great, good, run with it. Brian back here, he doesn't believe in it, and you can see from the judgmental look on his face, he doesn't believe in it. But hey, all the power to you. So after a lengthy trial, Rogers was convicted of third-degree murder, and a lot of it had to do with statements that she made in actual court, evidence that was against her, her freely admitting that she had shot her boyfriend and killed him, but she didn't believe that the gun was actually loaded. But so, the next one down would have been manslaughter, but they did convict her of third-degree murder. She was sentenced to 15 to 40 years in the state penitentiary for her crime. Now, the first group that they both belong to, Shriner's group, she has flat out denied that they are a cult or even that they are even a group. She says that they are nothing at all. But an exact quote from her to the Associated Press was, "You can turn off my videos on YouTube anytime you want and walk away. You can turn off my podcast, stand up and walk away. I don't have a list or any members' rules. But if you go on to one of her live streams or you go on to one of her videos, you will see a lot of people, whenever they think someone else is being out of line, a lot of them refer to 2 or 3 different people by an acronym and a number. So in one instance that was on a video, in the comments section, one person was questioning if there really is 2 different reptilian groups here on Earth, bad reptilians and good reptilians. They don't believe that there is a good reptilian group, that they believe all reptilian people who walk amongst us are bad. And over again, in the comment section, people keep on referring to DOR, DOR 3, the number 3, over and over again. Door, you need to take care of this. Door, you need to take care of this. Door, did you see this comment? Now, I never saw anybody actually comment on the video with that screen name, but if there is no rules, they certainly have somebody who is acting as an enforcer. Was this a moderator? I don't know, but I can tell you over and over again, they kept on saying you need to go to his house and deal with him. So it looks like, to me, from the outside looking in, it's a little bit more than just a moderator. So in 2018, The FBI still lists Barbara Rogers and her deceased boyfriend, Steve Mineo, as the leader of the Earthly Society, which is registered and listed as a cult in Pennsylvania. And there's different, when it comes to actually the FBI listing a group as a cult, there's a lot more to it than just a group of people who get together and say, yeah, we're a religion. You have to meet certain fanatical standards. You have to preach a certain thing. You have to say certain things in order to be, for them to list you as a cult or a religion, either or. I mean, they just don't nilly put people down the list as a cult. This is the FBI. And they also list Shriner's Group as a cult as well. That is as of 2018. Barbara, even though she is still behind bars, is still in control of this group somehow. Because even after her incarceration and then throughout her trial and today, at the last video that I saw was dated back in May. Somebody is still controlling the YouTube channel and the blogs and the Facebook group that is associated with this, this group. They believe that the entire thing against Barbara is made up. They believe that the men in black, who they call the New World Order Police, that is who they believe the men in black are. They believe that they made this all up against Barbara, that Barbara never killed Stephen, that Stephen is currently incarcerated in a prison that the U.S. government runs and controls, that is outside of our U.S. borders, where all the prisoners there are not political prisoners, but they are prisoners because they are privy to information about the New World Order and the Reptilians, and they do not wish for them to release it out into the general public where it would cause a mass hysteria. So they believe that they made up these charges against Barbara, killing Stephen, and Stephen is in this prison. They also believe that there are several other people who are well known, a couple of movie stars, a rock star who I'd never heard of before by the name of David Tile, T-I-L-E. I never heard of him. Couldn't find any actual references to him on any of the things that that I look for. But they believe that his music and everything about him has been scrubbed from the internet because the government is is currently housing him there. But these people believe that these reptilians basically walk amongst us and are here mining our earth for their own for resources they need on their planet that ran out of them. Now, they also believe that when it comes to little green men and the little flying saucers are real. They believe that these little green men who come here, or gray people, or whatever, but they say that in their on their website, green, so we're going to run with the word, what they say. The little green men are scouts. They are sent here. They are the lower tier of the reptilians. They hope to somehow and eventually evolve to become reptilians. But they are a lower form that eventually can become a reptilian. And they are sent here as scouts to mine and look for new resources. They actually believe that these people really do come here.